what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Bluffton Tech Dynasty here on EA College Football 25. Now, it has been a tough season, but we feel like we're starting to figure things out, and the question is, can we use some of that offensive momentum that we've learned from last week and turn that into a victory? It's going to be tough for what we got here in today's episode, as we got Central Michigan on the road at Kelly Short Stadium, as the Chippewas has aspirations to try and get to the MAC championship themselves. We'll see if we can play spoiler. Now, in today's game, it should be a somewhat evenly matched game, as Central Michigan is not as good as Toledo, and we are able to be more competitive in Toledo than what we see in our other MAC games, so maybe we could play a little bit spoiler after all. It's going to have to really depend on Xavier Wilson. He's going to be the impact player identified for today. He's going to really need to step up in this one. He's got the speed, but can he put together some good coverage abilities? As here's where the conference stands as of right now. Central Michigan in that tie for second place at the time being. So let's see if we can go ahead and play spoiler here today as we take on Central Michigan. But it should be a fun game regardless, one that I hope you guys are excited for. But with that being said, if you are enjoying the series so far, make sure you go ahead and do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and be like Trey Songz and dive right into this matchup on the road.
Welcome to Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and the home of the Central Michigan Chippewas, and it looks as if we are due for a full house as we have a terrific game in store. In this one, the spotlight shines off the beaten path where real college football fans wait for their dose of action. As we'll see a team coming off a crucial bye week, a squad looking to put on a show. Taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week.
Alright boys, so let's go out here and get things started against an already bowl eligible Central Michigan squad, as this is a great start to our game. We over pursue our defender as Luke's is able to pick up the first down. Luke's quietly having a nice season thus far. He's closing in on 650 yards rushing. We'll see if we can make sure that he doesn't pick up any milestones from here on out. But so far, that has not been what we've wanted to do at all, as Luke's already has picked up a couple of first downs against our defense. And we also feeling a little bit on the jittery side as well. We get called for basically the offsides penalty against Kobe Garland, as that will make what was a 2nd and 10 now turn into a 2nd and 5. As now we'll go ahead and see Central Michigan go to work here once again, as we're able to bring him down reasonably, but there's a flag on the field, and this one is going to be called for a face mask. Chase Freeman is the guilty party, and a Central Michigan team that's pretty good. And as we saw in the preview of today's game, this is a very good football team, really in the mix of going to the MAC championship at the end of the season. Well, they're able to drive all the way down across the 20-yard line, where again we hit ourselves with another neutral sign infraction. Deshaun Weeks this time gets called for the guilty play, as now 3rd and 1 coming up. Central Michigan right on the doorstep. It's a play action, and we bring them down. The Bluffton Tech defense is gonna be able to hold it down, man. Let's go. All of those mistakes, all of those mishaps, and Joshua Townsend is finally gonna put a stop to it. So Central Michigan is going to settle for a field goal, but you see how much clock that took. Almost 7 out of 9 minutes that we had planned for this first quarter, that was all encompassed on this individual drive right here. So here we are with less than a few minutes left in the first quarter. We finally get a chance to get the football in our hands, Let's see what we can do in our first drive of the game, and this is a good start. Chris Gentry able to take it out to the outside, pick up a first down, and we'll see if we can keep it going as we want to run it with Will Peoples, who stays on his feet. But hold up now, wait a minute. There's a flag on the field, and they're going to call for a holding penalty for us yet again. Jalen McDonald gets called for a holding, and yet we're only 1 quarter in so far. We've already been penalized 4 times in this first quarter alone, and it's going to continue to hurt us here too. Can't even set up the halfback screen, which makes it 3rd and 20, which was really something that I didn't want to be in, but hey, you know, we just got a ball at this point. Hopefully one of our receivers can maybe make a big play downfield on the 3rd and 20, and sure enough, yes! We got a big play! It's the freshman Chris Gentry, man! This freshman receiver plays so much higher than what his overall is stated as, man. He's a baller. I'm so excited that we're going to have him in our program over the next few years. But, again, you know, we substitute a positive with a negative because we probably should have just thrown it the circle, but I honestly was looking in a different direction. So we'll try again here. 2nd and 16. Armstrong's going to drop back. Got some pressure up the middle and just had to get rid of it. And now we're looking down a 3rd and 16. We already got a big 3rd down conversion on this drive. Can we make it another one? Armstrong dropping back, looks over the middle, and it's nearly intercepted. That had some danger of going the other way, but we will punt the ball away instead. And that's how we're going to bring an end to the first quarter of action. Not a lot of possession time between these two teams, but we still have a pretty good and close game on our hands. So, with that being said, start of the second quarter coming around. We do force Central Michigan to go 3 and out as we'll try to go back at it again. That's a nice spin move by Will Peoples. Okay, I see you, young blood. 10-yard reception, able to break a tackle. And this 3rd down becomes much more manageable. And I think we're going to use the Will Peoples as a decoy. No, we're just going to go with our freshman tailback. One of the best offensive players on our team, and we're going to rely on that talent in those critical 3rd downs. As we'll quickly get to the line of scrimmage, I want to see if we can catch Central Michigan off guard. Armstrong looks over to the left-hand side, and it's going to be caught for a 1st down. That had to be thrown as soon as he was about ready to make that cut, and thankfully he did. That goes for a significant gain as that's going to take us now across the 25-yard line. As now, 1st and 10 coming up. Armstrong looking over the middle, finds his receiver as Demetrius Williamson somehow, and I mean somehow, able to hang on to it as it now brings us 2nd and 13. Armstrong doesn't like what he sees, but he's not going to panic. He's going to run into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Muskrats. And Bluffton Tech is going to take the lead here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And we are taking this 6-2 top-tier MAC squad, and we're officially putting them boys on notice. And here's the crazy thing, too. We force yet another 3 and out, so we have an opportunity, a rare opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless, to extend this lead even further. Let's see if we can put together 2 great drives in a row as Armstrong, he's feeling himself. He's feeling pretty good right about now as Will Peoples is going to take it up the gut, and he will pick up the 1st down and get to about midfield. As now Armstrong is going to make some adjustments at the line real quick. He'll drop back, looks over the middle of the field, and it's going to be caught by the freshman again. Another contested catch for Chris Gentry. Is there anything this freshman cannot do? He's absolutely feeling himself right now. As here we are with a 3rd and 8. Facing pressure. Oh, we had him open. Oh my goodness, if we were able to bring that in, that would have been a touchdown. Instead, 4th and 8, and we're going to try and, bring this kick in, and unfortunately we do shank it to the right. So that's a tough pill to swallow for us there. With that said, we do not bring any points onto the board. And now Central Michigan is going to take over, where we immediately give the Chippewas more penalty that we got rid of, right? So that penalty yard is going to be an automatic first down, and with how much we've been penalized this year, I'm actually surprised that we don't lead the nation in penalties sometimes. It's been wrong. Oh my goodness, I should have had an interception there. Foreman, I'm glad you got the incompletion. I am at least happy that we did that. But man, that should have been picked off, and we could have been going the other way right now. Instead, it's going to be a 2nd and 5, as that is a dot over the middle. I mean, look at that coverage. That's not even bad coverage at all. That's actually very good coverage, but the quarterback just made a better throw there. And now the Chippewas are down by the goal line, trying to get it out to the receiver, who is going to be able to pick up a handful of yards, but not a significant amount. So Central Michigan will end up using one of their timeouts. We'll see if Bluffton Tech can get a stop down here on the goal line, as we're looking at a 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Lobos is going to drop back, looking over to the right-hand side, and it's caught! Hung on to it as the Chippewas will retake the lead. And that was a dot in the corner of the end zone. Over to this upperclassman wide receiver. It will be Marion Lukes who scores, as that will take us into halftime. And lo and behold, fellas, we actually still have a close game on our hands. Let's get some more consistency from the ground game. We have a real shot of winning our very first game of the season. So here we are in the second half in the matchup between Bluffton Tech and Central Michigan. And we do get the ball to start this second half. So this could be a tone setter here in this second half. Let's see what we can do here as 1st and 10. Armstrong's going to look over to the left-hand side, and just outside the outstretched arms of Scotty McClauer, who was open there but just couldn't hit it on the money. As 3rd and 9, he'll throw over to the left-hand side, and he'll find Demetrius Williamson, who immediately comes back and wins on the curl pattern for the first down. As now we're looking at a 1st and 10 yet again. Armstrong dropping back the pass, looks over to the right-hand side. He's going to find Chris Gentry again, who takes a shot. Might have fumbled that pass, to be honest with you, but they don't call it a fumble on the field for whatever reason. And now we find ourselves in a 3rd and 13 after a couple of inconsequential plays. However, what we do need is a big play downfield. Can Armstrong deliver? He's facing pressure right away, and he's going to run for the first down. And Armstrong fighting for it, and is not going to get it. And listen, you already know how it is for us here on this channel. We're not the best kickers, and sometimes, as my buddy Kate Freezy would say, sometimes you just got to put your nuts on your shoulder. We're going to go for us here. 4th and inches. Keontae Tyson, the goal line, back into the game. And here comes Teague, breaking a tackle, and he goes all the way. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech. And the gamble plays off tremendously, going to win the lottery. That is finding the end zone yet again. A gutsy call by Coach Barrettine, and Cameron Teague is going to give Bluffton Tech the lead. So 14-10, now your score, as Central Michigan will try to respond back. I thought we were going to have that man at the line of scrimmage, but somehow Luke gets out of all of those tackles, man. Like, that's crazy to me. That should have been 2nd and 10, but instead it's going to be a 2nd and short, where it's not going to be a play action. Luke's, on the other hand, has a wide, butt naked open hole. That's going to provide a huge first down for the Chippewas. And they're going to continue to work this ground game. You could see, based off of what we have witnessed over the last few plays, they've been able to find a certain amount of success. That's been concerning to me. So, 1st and 10 coming up as they again go to the ground game with Luke's able to run right through the center of our defense. Marion Luke's really starting to warm up here in this second half. We'll see if your Fighting Muskrats are going to have a response at all. As now, 1st and 10, Luke's is going to drop back the pass, looks over to the left-hand side, and is going to find the flat receiver, who will be pushed out of bounds. Might have gone away with a little bit of a late push towards the end of that play, but they won't thankfully call another penalty on us. Refs are really looking for any reason at all to throw the flag on your Muskrats today, so we can't give them those reasons. So now, 3rd and short coming up as Marion Lukes goes into motion. He's got a man open, but is not going to take him. Instead, his quarterback is just going to take it into the end zone himself. Touchdown for Central Michigan. And the response was crafted by Joe Abbas. And Joe Abbas will give Central Michigan the lead once again. And Joe Abbas will have Central Michigan up by 3. So down by a few points here late in the 3rd quarter. We're still knee deep in this thing. We can certainly still win it by all means. As now 2nd and 6 coming up. We're going to try to make a big throw down the field, and that one's out of reach again. Oh my goodness, we have had multiple opportunities now when we could have made a big throw downfield, and we just haven't done it yet, man. That's a tough pill to swallow for sure. So 3rd and 6 instead. We're going to try to quickly throw for the 1st down, and Chris Gentry being just absolutely ultra reliable, able to pick up that 1st down here yet again. He's been a bright spot. What has been a frustrating year overall for our offense, but I think we really might be having a breakthrough today, but we were feeling a little bit too dangerous there, as that'll be the last meaningful play of the 3rd quarter. Get those 4s up, because Bluffton Tech has a chance to win it, only down by a field goal, as this could be one of those moments where we could stop Central Michigan from sneaking into this top 25, because if Central Michigan wins out, I would imagine that they would find their way into the top 25, but 3rd and long, Armstrong's going to drop back, and that's going to simply be batted away. Wanted Demetrius Williamson, but it will be incomplete there. And now Central Michigan will take on over. So the Chippewas will have a chance to put this game away, but hang on now. Clarence Bowie trying to go busy. He breaks one tackle and gets down to about the 30-yard line. Is it destiny? Are we going to see possibly the first win in school history? We might be witnessing that right in front of our eyes. And we might be witnessing that right about now. Jaden Bowie with the key interception. And now we have only 30 yards between us and the lead. Armstrong trying to throw to the right-hand side, and oh, we just needed a little bit more time there. This is going to be a long field goal, though, so I don't feel comfortable going for it from this far out, even though we do have it centered. So we're going to go for it here, 4th and 9. I do like the matchup with Chris Gentry, and he's going to have enough time, and he's got it! 1st down for Bluffton Tech, as that will now deliver us across the 15-yard line. And the Fighting Muskrats are in business again. But we got to finish the drive. Armstrong looks over the middle, tight window. But Demetrius Williamson is able to haul it in. As now, goal line opportunity for the Fighting Muskrats. We run it up the gut. This is Keontae Tyson, who finds the end zone. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech! The Fighting Muskrats will indeed retake the lead with 6:23 left to play in the 1st half. And now all the pressure is on this Central Michigan offense, I should say. They need to answer the bell if they want to win this one. But again, we don't do them any favors. Porter Lindstrid is going to be caught with the holding penalty. Porter Lindstrid with that face mask And you see on that upper right-hand corner, just right then and now, that is our 7th penalty today. Meanwhile, Central Michigan has not been flagged at all. And yet, here we are with 6 minutes left to play. We still got a chance to win this here. So, second down coming up here for the Chippewas, as they're going to line up in the pistol formation. Heading it off to the tailback, who's got some room again. Able to bring him down with our user, but it seems very clear that Central Michigan wants to keep it on the ground. Not for this particular moment, though, as that's going to be incomplete. That might have been Nate Berthe, who's able to make that play happen. And now it's 3rd and 7. Chippewas looking to go with the play action, and 13 wide but naked open, as we were more concerned with making sure that we did not get beat deep there. As now we're looking at a 1st and 10. As the Chippewas are looking to go to work here as they go with another play action. This could be some trouble. Running out of time though, and Koleski was right there. And yet he fails to make a play on the ball. Unbelievable. Koleski should have at least gotten a touch on that pass, even if I wasn't initially controlling him. And we'll give up another touchdown. This time to Chessie Prewitt the 3rd. So only down by a field goal. We're not freaking out as DJ Armstrong's going to go to work here. And oh my goodness, that is a key drop. That would have been a big play if he was able to bring that in. Instead, it's going to be 2nd and 10 coming up as Armstrong's going to try to set up the screen. This time it's successful to Will Peoples. And he's going to have a beautiful spin move across the 30-yard line. Oh, baby, that had a little bit of Q Junkins on that one. And now the Bluffton Tech Fighting Muskrats, they go into their turbo offense. 1st and 10 with about 3 minutes left. Armstrong drops back. He's going to throw quickly over to the tight end. That is Scott McQuallen, able to make this a much more manageable 2nd and 5. So 2nd and 5 for your Bluffton Tech Muskrats as we try to set up the RPO. Wanting to get it out to Chris Gentry there. See if our dynamic freshman could have made something happen there in the open field, but they'll require him to bring that pass in. Central Michigan played that pretty well. As now 3rd and 5, just going to try to throw to the sticks, but they don't give it to us. And at this point in the game, if we punt this ball back over, I don't know if we'll be able to get it back. So we're going to go for it here on 4th and 1, and Keontae Tyson with some tough running. Able to move the sticks for Bluffton Tech. Now we're across midfield. Maybe a couple more first downs could get us reasonably into field goal range, but Central Michigan is looking to lock it in. Justin Whiteside was there with the deflection. As now 2nd and 10 coming up after that incompletion, as we're going to look for a slot drive here for Armstrong, who wants to throw over the middle. And Chris Gentry wanted to go to him, but might have been going to the well one too many times. So a 3rd and 10. As we're going to try to be a little bit more creative here, try to go with a little bit of a screen here, get them off balance, get the blocks upfield, but can't make enough guys miss. And that takes us into the 2-minute warning. So what does this Bluffton Tech offense come up with here? I got a couple of good options. Let's see if we can take them. Armstrong under the gun, dropping back. He's going to look over the middle. It's intercepted. Eyeing up Demetrius Williamson. And it's going to be a costly interception. Didn't see Chris Gentry over on the right-hand side. And that's going to be the ultimate difference between us winning and possibly losing this game. Now, we still have all of our timeouts, so it's certainly not over. However, we just made it a lot more difficult for us to win this game. And just like that, we already have to use one of our timeouts. So just 1 yard away from finishing the job in terms of handing us another L, as Lobos is going to hand it off, but we stop him behind the line of scrimmage. The defense is able to stand tall, and now the Chippewa coaching staff, they have a tough decision to make of their own, and they're not going to risk it either. They're going to go for it here, 4th and 2. Let's see if our offense can get him off the field, but we can't. We cannot bring him down, and it's over. Our best opportunity yet to finish the deal, and we're going to come up just short. Central Michigan is going to win 24-21, and it looks like, unfortunately, we'll still search for our first win of the year. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I thought this was going to be the game. I thought this was going to be the game where we're finally going to get our first win, but we just fell short. We couldn't make the plays when it mattered the most, and this is the second time this season where we had a chance to make a game-winning drive this year, and we just couldn't do it. This was honestly a very even game, and I'm really proud that we were able to go and play 4 quarters of complete football against one of the best teams in the MAC this season. But unfortunately, the biggest difference for us was the penalties, and boy, were the penalties absolutely egregious. Central Michigan was not penalized at all, but we had 8 penalties on the day, and that was the biggest difference in this one. As for the stats in this one, listen, DJ Armstrong played pretty well today. 21 for 39, 208 yards. Did have an interception on the last drive of the game, but other than that, felt like he had good command of the offense, and really felt that this is what I was talking about in terms of starting to figure things out. I truly feel like we were starting to figure things out there a little bit. Although, ironically, we weren't really able to get one of our best offensive players going today at all. I mean, we were really struggling. 9 carries for 12 yards for our best running back. He truly struggled, but other guys did find the end zone on the ground. DJ Armstrong, Keontae Tyson, and Cameron Teague were all guys that were able to get carries into the end zone today. As for the receivers, our leading receiver today was Demetrius Williamson, who actually had a mismatch pretty much the entire time. Same thing could be said for Chris Gentry. Those two had very good games today. But in all honesty, it was really our defense that really struggled to get that critical stop, as that let us down when it mattered the most. Xavier Wilson was able to lead the team in tackles. He had 11 tackles today. Chase Freeman wasn't too far with 8, but, again, didn't really make those critical plays when it mattered the most. We did have 2 sacks, so that's a little bit better than last week, though. Joshua Townsend was able to get a sack, and then Tajay Coles was also able to get a sack as well. Finally, Jaden Bowie, who's been doing a pretty good job here as a senior corner, playing this last year, transferring in for Bluffton Tech, looking for that opportunity to get playing time. He did have an interception today, and that was the only turnover that we were able to force. We do get at least another recruiting opportunity, so I am going to continue to focus on the lines of scrimmage. So I got 10 points that I can spend now that I am level 6, and I'm going to spend it on magnetic personality so that we can have increased starting interest from offensive linemen. And then I'm also going to go with the always be recruiting to increase weekly recruiting hours for defensive linemen, because I am dead serious when I said we will be getting better in the trenches one way or the other. But even though we're probably one of the worst teams in college football this year, we continue to get some good recruitments. Jad Eden, for example, is a perfect example of that. He's a 3-star tight end from Cleveland, Ohio, and he's going to verbally commit to us. And in terms of other updates, Jamichael Ruffin, who is a offensive lineman, he does narrow down his list a little bit more. He's going to narrow down his list down to the top 5. So we're actually in a pretty good spot as well. We're currently winning that battle against the Kent State Golden Flashes. Still a little bit of work that needs to be done on that front, though. But at least one thing that we can say is that we probably covered against Central Michigan, which, sometimes you got to take those moral victories. Now it's the closest that we've been all year to actually getting a win. That being said, though, we're right there. We are right there on the cusp of winning a game. But we only have 3 more tries to do it. And if we don't win, we're going to be kicked out of MAC. So the pressure is going to be dialed up to a T. Next episode, we get to return back to the Tech Center, where we'll take on the Western Michigan Broncos. And let's see if we can propel ourselves with a win, thanks to the fans that will be there at the Tech Center to support their Bluffton Tech Fighting Muskrats. It was a fun video, even though I did not come out on top, but hopefully y'all enjoyed this one though. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. Hope you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.